Let's start out with a shout out to Myron for his effort to speed up the sanding process of some HDF profiles. He has come up with a method that reduces overprocessing and after testing has proven to meet quality standards and is much faster than the previous method of sanding these doors. The previous method involved 3 tools, but they have found that using 1 tool is adequate when following these new guidelines. Another challenge they had in the HDF area was sanding small drawer fronts or doors, where they couldn't fit pneumatic tools inside. Previously, they used a reusable sanding block with a Velcro pad. The problem is that it couldn't fit into the corners very tightly without damaging the inside edge profile, which required the use of a razor blade or more hand sanding with loose paper to get out blemishes in the corners. Myron made some new tools that have also passed quality assurance testing that enable them to get into the corners and sand these small panels much quicker. And they are also reusable, which is nice. So great work, Myron. Hopefully these ideas can inspire viewers like you to think outside the box and consider if there's a faster way of doing what you do every day, while producing the same quality that customers have come to expect from quality craft. Face Frames has added a system to their paperwork to keep jobs alphabetized for quicker retrieval when needed. By adding stacking bookmark trays, it makes it easy to sort jobs as they come in. The paperwork also used to be stacked over by the building table, but to reduce some motion they began storing it by the computer, as this is closer to where it needs to be when deciding which paperwork to pull next for face frame production. And Faith and her team members in the staining area identified the wastes of defects, motion, weighting, and overprocessing in the way they cut out new cardboard to cover their stain tables. Sometimes when cutting these new pieces, they would find out that the piece was either too short or too long. If it was too short, it wouldn't work and would have to be recut, which added at least 3 wastes. It created the waste of defects because it had to be redone, and defects always lead to other wastes. One of which was waiting, because they now had to wait longer for a new piece to be cut. Not to mention trying to decide what to do with the now extra piece of cardboard which either goes to the trash or needs to be transported to an area where it can be used. Either way, leading to more waste. And of course, redoing anything always adds to extra motion in order to perform the task again. And if the piece was too long, well, it just wasted material. So to address this, they added some bright colored tape on the ground and marked it to indicate the correct cut length for cardboard. This reduces the time it takes to train someone on how to do this process and eliminates the wastes that were caused by cutting it to the wrong size, because now it is just so easy to pull the cardboard out to the indicated line and cut to the perfect size every time. And Alan had some quick labels made to tell the operator which motion the cranes control on their molder. This can help less experienced operators know which spindle to turn for the desired operation, rather than having to move the spindle and then watch for the effects in order to be reminded of what it does. By adding the label, the information is available right there, so they are more likely to adjust the correct crankshaft the first time, reducing the waste of motion and waiting.
So many people have asked me, do you ever get mad? And of course I answer, well, yes, everyone gets mad sometimes. The important thing is what we do with the mad that we feel in life. A few weeks ago, on my way home from a particularly tough day at work, I stopped to see my 2 grandsons. Their mom and dad weren't there, but the boys were there with the babysitter in the backyard, squirting water with hoses. I could see that they were really having fun, but I felt I needed to let them know that I didn't want to be squirted. So I told them so. And little by little, I could feel that the older boy, Alexander, was testing the limit. until finally his hose was squirting very close to where I was standing. I said to him in my harshest voice, "Okay, that's it, Alexander. Turn off the water. You've had it." He did as I told him, said he was sorry, and looked very sad. The more I thought about it, the sadder I got. I realized that Alexander had not squirted me, and that I had stepped into his and his brother's play with a lot of feelings left over from work. So when I got home, I just called Alexander on the phone. I told him I felt awful about my visit with him, and the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I was taking out my anger from work on him. I told him I was really sorry. Do you know how he answered me? He said, "Oh, Bubba," he calls me Bubba. "Oh, Bubba, everybody makes mistakes sometimes." I nearly cried. I was so touched by his naturally generous heart. And I realized that if I hadn't called him, I might not have ever received that wonderful gift of Alexander's sweet forgiveness.